Do you guys smell that? That's the grass at Lincoln Financial Field, growing in the background. That Tuesday was the first of 2 practices available to the public at Lincoln Financial Field. The pads were popping. The whistles were blowing. The Tim Tebow chants reverberated around the stadium, even as each one of his passes bounced into the ground. Jordan Matthews caught everything thrown to him, and with pinpoint accuracy, Sam Bradford hit every receiver in stride. Football is back. All of us Eagles fans are like children on Christmas Day, like teenage girls at a Justin Bieber concert. Training camp is here. I was so excited I stumbled upon that whole damn thing. But Mike Owens is here. Jeremy Burton is here as well. We got a 3-man crew. We're going to break down some position battles. Guys, how's it going? We'll start with you, Jeremy. Jeremy, are you there? Mike?
I'm here.
I don't know if we lost Jeremy,
I
but
don't know, but he looks like
he is frozen.
he's
He is
frozen in time.
He is ice cold like Tim Tebow.
Yeah, that he is. I don't know. I thought that this hot weather would have melted him by now.
All right. Damn it. I think we may have to start over.
Let's give it a minute. Maybe he'll be able to re-enter or something.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just keep talking, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right. So we were at Lincoln Financial Field today. Eagles training camp, first day of practice, and very, very hot. That was the first thing. Very, very hot. And yeah. So what did you think the first day?
Well, we were sweating our balls off, first off. We were sitting in the direct sun. There was no clouds at all. I think that out of the whole entire practice, we got about maybe 4 seconds of cloud coverage. And when the clouds came in, everybody was cheering because it was so damn hot. And, in the meantime, when we were able to not think about how hot it was, we were, really checking out Bradford and seeing how that knee was performing, considering that he's wearing a rubber brace. He's not going with the big bulky brace. He's going to be going with that small little rubber brace to protect that knee. And I'll tell you what, you didn't really realize the knee because you notice his arm strength. That's a big thing you notice with Bradford. He can really fire the ball in there. He can get it into tight seams, and that's what he did today. And we also noticed that he's really developing some chemistry with Jordan Matthews.
That he is. Oh, my goodness. Jordan Matthews, you want to talk about eye-popping. He really jumped out to us today. And, speaking of the arm strength, there is such a difference between the velocity of Bradford's passes to everybody else, in the quartet of quarterbacks that we have in camp. Matt Barkley, Tebow, Sanchez. All 3 of those guys, terrible today. But Bradford was hitting everybody he saw. There was only the one pass that I could remember, the crossing route where he threw behind the guy. But other than that, he was pinpoint. He was sharp. He looked really good.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because, it seemed like we got into the Tim Tebow cheering section. I don't know how that happened, but Tim Tebow, I mean, this guy's like a saint. Everyone just praises down to him, no matter what he does. He could have, threw the ball outside of the stadium, and everyone would have cheered and said, wow, look at his feet, great feet placement. But yeah, Tebow. There was one pass in particular where he threw the ball at the shoes of Nelson Aguilar, and Aguilar actually made an outstanding catch, and people were cheering because Tebow threw the ball. So not sure what the fascination is here with Tebow, but Tebow is really fighting for the 3rd string spot over Barkley, and fighting would be putting it nicely. Someone is going to have to just lose between Barkley and Tebow because they both do not look good. Sanchez is Sanchez. You know what you're going to get out of Sanchez. It's not going to be the greatest, but he's a backup quarterback. So the positive thing is that, Bradford, he looks good, and his so far his knee looks strong.
Yeah, he looked really good. And you know what? Jeremy has not rejoined us as of the second. We'll give him another minute, and if he doesn't, I'm going to have to do another show. But in the meantime, does it aggravate you that Tim Tebow not only getting more chance than Sam Bradford, but considerably more? I mean, everybody's cheering for this guy, and he's awful. He was awful today.
Yeah, not good at all. So, like I said, not really sure what's going on there with the Tebow mania, but we'll see what happens, and just gotta hope that Tebow can deliver some prayers before the game.
Oh boy! All right, yeah, we will give Mike Jeremy 30 more seconds because he wasn't at training camp today. He had to work. Unlike us, we were lucky souls. We didn't have to work today. But yeah, so we got the training camp talk kind of out of the way. Unfortunately, he is still not back. I don't know if he's going to be able to get back in here without an invite. So
yeah, I've been texting him. You might have to send him the invite again.
Okay.
See if you can send him the invite again, and he should be able to get back in. It looks like his internet went down, and he had to restart his computer.
Dude, problems all the way around today. We the turnpike was closed, so it took us an hour and a half to get back. Then it took me an hour and a half to get back from your place. Just shenanigans all the way around.
Yeah, it is not a good day. Just a disaster, really.
Oh man! All right, let's talk about some guys that we liked that surprised us today. I will give you one name, and you will give me another. Marcus Smith. How about Marcus Smith today? Not that he did much, but my expectations with him were so slim. To see him actually making some plays, to see some progress, I'm a little bit excited. And considering that Travis Long just tore his ACL, we need some outside linebacker depth behind Connor Barwin and Brandon Graham. So maybe, just maybe. What about you? What about you stood out for you?
Yeah, I agree with the Marcus Smith. That was a surprise. He was actually around the ball a little bit, and we really haven't seen that before from him. So definitely there. I'll give you a guy. I think that watching the special teams in particular, Josh Huff was a guy that stood out. He actually had a nice return that would have went for a touchdown if it was a real gain. So he's a guy that we're really going to need to step up here in his second year, especially with all the offseason moves with the wide receivers, getting rid of Macklin. He's a guy that's going to need to step up. So he's shown some flashes, last year, but he had some problems holding on to the football and some mental mistakes. But from what I saw today, he showed some, more signs of promise. So he's the guy to, watch out for in training camp.
I'll give you one more name, and maybe, I'll let you spit off one more name as well if you'd like. Jalen Watkins. Obviously, the nickel slot is up for grabs right now. Brandon Boykin just got traded. So we need a guy to step up. Ja'Cory Shepard looks like he might be the name, but Jalen Watkins out of those, the trio of Randall Evans, out of Shepard, and then you got him. I thought Watkins made a lot of good plays today. Shepard and Evans were kind of up and down. Evans struggled to start, got a little bit better as the day wore on. Shepard was just kind of inconsistent, but he didn't look too bad.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a position to watch there, that slot cornerback position with Shepard and Watkins, because everyone is pretty much just handing the job over to Shepard at this point. But Watkins, although he doesn't have much experience over Shepard, he does have a little bit of experience, being able to play some last year. And like you said, Watkins did make some plays today. So I think really you're going to see maybe a little bit of, combination of Watkins and Shepard.
Yeah, yeah. I sent an invitation to Jeremy. We will see if he comes back. This is the second time I've sent it, so we'll see if it works. Any other names that kind of caught your eye today? I mean, we kind of went through Matthews, like the big ones, but anybody else?
Nothing really. Any surprise names. I mean, it was hard to really tell on defense what guys were standing out, from our vantage point. But as far as, more on the offensive side of the ball, Zach Ertz, he looks good. He looks like he's going to make the leap here another year into the system. Besides that, Kiko Alonso, I mean, he looked pretty solid, but it was hard to tell really. So, but really, besides, for surprise guys, it was tough to tell.
Yeah, Smith was like the one guy that we both really agreed on that, really surprised us more than, we thought he would.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right there with Smith, and they're going to really need him to step up now with Travis Long out. He's going to have to be, a backup, a solid backup at this point.
Yeah, yeah. You referenced Ertz. He had the play of the day. That catch down the seam, he had Kendricks draped all over him, made a great adjustment midair, came down with the catch. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Ertz kind of came up a little bit slow after that play, and you were kind of worried there for a second, but he was able to rejoin the practice. Seemed like he maybe just got the wind knocked out of him a little bit, and it looks like Jeremy has come back. He's not frozen in time anymore.
Yeah. We got Jeremy back on it. You know what? The timing is kind of perfect because we got through the training camp stuff. I was kind of hoping we could start over again because I really butchered the beginning, but we're gonna just keep going. We're gonna keep going, and now we welcome Jeremy back onto the show. You were frozen for a while. You were cold like Tebow.
Everybody switched to Verizon is all I have to say because Comcast is shit. That's my problem. But I'm jealous you guys were down at camp today. That's must have been fun.
Yeah, what were you doing? Where were you working at? Unfortunately, I guess.
I'm working on bridges and designing roads and being an engineer. Fun stuff.
Yeah. Well, you didn't design the turnpike that I did.
I did see that though. There was a tractor trailer engulfed in flames. It was kind of interesting to see. I didn't want to run into the media and try and take a picture of it, so I take the safe route.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into what we really want to talk about now. We got the training camp stuff out of the way. Now let's talk about some position battles. Obviously, the big ones that come to mind, cornerback, especially with the release of Brandon Boykin. We have the guard spot. I mean, those are the big two. Obviously, we want to keep an eye on Sam Bradford in the preseason, see kind of who he builds a rapport with at the wide receiver position. Obviously, when you're looking at preseason, you always want to look at the rookies. But we'll start with Jeremy. What do you think is the biggest position battle in camp? What's the one you got your eye on?
I got my eye on the offensive line, man, because with Bradford coming off of 2 straight ACLs, you got to protect them. Like we have solid anchors in the tackle spots and Kelsey in the middle, but looks like Alan Barbary and Matt Tobin have the early lead. We signed some guys like Jeff Moffitt coming off of retired for 2 years and doing drugs and all that good stuff. But apparently, people say he's in good shape, and he was a starter for the Seahawks, a winning organization with a great running game themselves. And so hopefully the offensive line can take pressure off Bradford as well as the running game. And I'm looking at those battles in the trenches.
Yeah, dude, John Moffitt actually had a nice block today in camp. He had some, and Matt Tobin, well, he didn't look too good.
And who else is in the mix there? Andrew Gardner, I think he's a bum.
Yeah, Dennis Kelly's there. Yeah, there's.
Dennis Kelly, oh, he's a punk too. I like him.
They all stink, actually.
That's why we should have kept Mathis.
Yeah, well, that's a story for another day.
Yeah, Moffitt is a guy to, really keep your eye on there along the offensive line because at training camp today, we kind of seen this in the, past with Tobin. Tobin is, kind of inconsistent. He's not really a guy that you can rely on to, really start all 16 games for you. So hopefully Moffitt can, come along here, get back into football shape because I think that, he could prove to be a valuable starter maybe, later down the season, halfway through the way or something.
Yeah. Guard spot. That's a great point with what you made with Bradford. Obviously, you got to keep him healthy, and that's where you get hit on the knees. It's right through the middle of the line, and that is a little bit concerning. Barbary seems like the sure thing. He's going to definitely be a starter, but that other guard spot is way up in the air. Who knows what's going to happen? Got a couple preseason games to judge who's going to kind of stand out from the bunch, but right now we got a bunch of names and we don't really know much else.
Yeah, that's right. And games are won and lost in the trenches, so that battle in there is huge for a winning organization in order to win games. And Mike brought up a great point with Moffitt. I think he can be a key component down the line, especially if Toby gets banged up. We only saw Barbary for what, a half last year, half the game when he got hurt. So Chip's real high on him. So like you said, I think he solidified one of those guard spots.
Yeah. All right. So we talked about the offensive line. The other big, obviously, position battle that's going to be going on through camp is the cornerback position, and obviously things took a turn for the worst with the trade of Brandon Boykin. This is where we'll turn to Mike. What are your thoughts at the cornerback spot?
Yeah, well, with the trade of Boykin, they really run into a death issue. Before the Boykin trade, they had some good depth, but now without Boykin, they're really going to rely on their depth with the rookies. They drafted 3 rookie cornerbacks this year. So really, this trade, it all falls on Chip Kelly because Chip Kelly went out, and he's going to put his faith in a guy like Ja'Cory Shepherd. Now, Shepherd, from all his, college tape, the scouting reports, he's a guy that can, really play the ball well. He's a big ball hawk, knows how to get in there, and he can read the receiver's eyes well. But he is a rookie, so relying on him to be your starting, slot cornerback is kind of scary. And considering that they don't have much behind him, maybe Watkins steps in too. That's what's really scary. So the trade of Boykin, even though he was only probably going to be here for one more year, it really leaves them shorthanded at that slot cornerback.
Yeah, it's like you understand the premise of what they're doing. You get a 4th-round pick. You know he's not going to re-sign because he wants to be a starter. He's never going to start here. But with the lack of experience, I would have rather just kept Boykin for the season and then just kind of move on from there. Because asking a rookie cornerback to come in here and be effective, that's asking a heck of a lot. Now, I did a video yesterday. I'll just really kind of quickly go through basically the main point of it. Rookies don't come in here and do a lot of great things. Out of all the positions, quarterback's the toughest to transition from college to the pros, and then it's cornerback. And there's a reason for this. In college, when you play corner, what you think is open, or what you think is tight coverage in college is open in the pros. You don't play. You play a different style as well, because in college you play the man. In the pro game you play the air. the air between the quarterback and the wide receiver. Huge difference. There's a huge learning curve. And in the study that I did yesterday, 28 cornerbacks were taken in the 3rd round or higher last season, and there were only 2 names that I thought played up to par or close to Brandon Boykin. Bene Benwickery, E.J. Gaines, St. Louis Rams. 2 guys out of 28. That's 7%. So to think that, Shepard or Evans or whoever is going to come in here and succeed, that's asking a whole lot. And the people who are being very, very overly optimistic about this, they're being naive. There's going to be some growing pains, and it's going to be frustrating at times. But all I can say, just like Aaron Rodgers said, relax, don't get impatient, just stay the course. And that's all I got to say about those guys.
You bring up a lot of good points, man. And
yeah,
it's kind of scary. It was scary. We were so bad in the secondary last year. We did address it with Maxwell, but there's going to be 3 rookie corners possibly in the mix. You think Nolan Carroll's the favorite for the starting opposite Byron, but who knows? Those corners the rookies are going to play a huge part, and you're right. They are still rookies. It's a big transition, and it could get frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, more thoughts on the subject?
Yeah, well, I really think that Nolan Carroll is going to be a big component to this because the Eagles are pretty high on him after, the offseason. Apparently, Nolan Carroll was the guy that won the offseason according to the Eagles, along with Brandon Graham. Now, why is Nolan Carroll such a big part? Well, they really need him to almost be as good as Byron Maxwell on the other side. That way it'll kind of, alleviate some of that pain for having a weaker slot cornerback.
Yeah. All right, so we kind of talked about that a little bit. Now let's move on to still going to stay in the secondary, but just another question, and I'll turn this to Jeremy. Walter Thurman looks like he might be the safety. Would you keep him? Would you rather keep him at safety or have him play the slot? What do you think?
I don't like Earl Wolf, so I'm going to put Thurman at safety. And I like Carroll across from Byron, so that leaves, Rowe and Ja'Cory Shepard and Evans to compete for the slot. I'd rather have that instead of Thurman down there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like Thurman in the safety spot also because in base personnel they cover the slot with their safeties, and Thurman can cover. He has experience playing some slot in the past. So, Mike, what do you think about the question?
Yeah, I have to agree. They really don't have any other options but to put Thurman back there at safety opposite Malcolm Jenkins. Earl Wolf just hasn't lived up to his potential here since being drafted. The injuries have really, derailed that, and it seems like Chip Kelly doesn't have any faith of him at all. So it looks like Thurman is going to be the guy back there at safety, and Thurman definitely has a lot of potential, but we got to see if he can transition that to the safety spot.
Yeah. All right. So to stay in the secondary here, because I'm curious to see how Billy Davis is going to kind of work things out, maybe play a little musical chairs as the season goes along, because last year we stuck with Kerry Williams and Bradley Fletcher all season long. So if Nolan Carroll struggles, Ja'Cory Shepard struggles early on, you got to think from, maybe the growing pains of being the defensive coordinator last year, you learn your lessons, and, this year you don't be so stubborn and you go to other guys. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy, go ahead.
We mentioned in the previous show that, Billy Davis waited until the Giants game after, we were pretty much out of contention to make a change at corner. Like, they put Bradley Fletcher on the injury report with a bruise or something stupid, just to I'm glad he made the change finally, but he probably should have done that earlier on and maybe played musical chairs like you said. So hopefully we get a better chance at a better rotation this year, since the scrubs are out.
Yeah, yeah. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with Jeremy there. I think even Billy Davis, he said something yesterday, I believe, about he even criticized himself, saying that he waited too long last year to make that switch at the cornerback spot, and benching Fletcher for that last game against the Giants. So yeah, he's got to be quicker on the trigger this year if things aren't going well with Nolan Carroll. He's got to make the switch to Eric Rowe immediately because Rowe is going to be the future at that cornerback spot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you really know really got to know when to make the switches. And I'll give an example of completely different position. It's actually offensive side of the ball. Marcus Wheaton last season for the Pittsburgh Steelers came in as the number 2 wide receiver alongside Antonio Brown. As the season went along, struggled a little bit. They turned to Martavis Bryant. Martavis Bryant, very, very good. So sometimes you got to learn, and you got to play a little bit of musical chairs. You don't just stick to one guy. I mean, Bradley Fletcher stunk all season long, and sometimes you got to make the switch. You got to have the balls to make the switch. You can't be scared. Don't fear failure.
Well, as you speak about that, I think that this year is really a big year for Billy Davis. I think that this is going to be a telling year for him. I think that he's got some players on this defense, especially the front seven, to be able to produce, I would say, a top 15 to top 20 defense. So if the Eagles' defense is within that 20 to 32 range this year, I think Billy Davis is going to be on the hot seat.
Yeah, he could be. He very well could be. All right, another topic here, because I'm going to give Mike Owens all the credit for this. I think you know where I'm going with this. All right, so yesterday in a media session, Billy Davis was talking about his linebackers and how he's might be designing some packages to get Michael Kendricks, Kiko Alonso, and D'Amico Ryans all on the field at the same time. Obviously, we got a lack of depth at outside linebacker behind Connor Barwin and Brandon Graham. So, what do you guys think of that? Mike, we'll start with you because you were the mastermind. You said this seconds after Kiko Alonso was acquired. Obviously,
yeah, I mean, I just thought that it made sense. I mean, you got, 3 good players that they're all starters. And obviously with, Kiko Alonso and Kendricks, 2 versatile players, and that you could really, slide wherever, inside or out along that linebacking spot. So with Travis Long going down, they're really, really thin at that outside linebacking spot. There was talks maybe that, they're going to try Vinny Curry out as one of those outside linebackers. But obviously, if you have a guy that could start at that position, then you're going to, slide him out there. So I think that you're going to see in some packages, you're going to see all 3 guys on the field at the same time because, I don't think that, Brandon Graham is a guy that you want out there all the time at this point.
Yeah. All right, Jeremy, your thoughts.
I mean, our linebackers are sexy. It's a wonderful thing. I'm really excited to have exactly that kind of package Mike's talking about. Throw Connor with those 3 guys with D'Amico and Kiko and Kendricks. That's just a dynamite linebacking core. And I believe like Brandon Graham only played about 45% of the snaps last year. So like Mike said, he might not be a 3-down linebacker. So I'm anxious to see how Billy Davis does that rotation, and Vinny Curry also, I heard, has been working outside. And you said Marcus Smith actually looked kind of decent today.
Yeah, didn't look bad at all. Travis Long obviously went down, another ACL tear. I mean, I just feel horrible for him. 2nd year in a row with that. And, you make a good point with Graham. He started out as a 4-3 defensive end, switched to 3-4 outside linebacker, and he's gotten better in coverage, but he's still not like great at it or anything. And say you throw Kiko Alonso out there at outside linebacker, his coverage is outstanding. So I think that could be a route that they might take. We'll see. I mean, you have three great players. Like that's what they say. You have skilled players. You get them out on the field.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I think that, Kiko would be the guy that they slide to the outside there because of his coverage skills, like you mentioned. And you would then be able to keep Kendricks inside because Kendrick is so fast going sideline to sideline. So you would want to be able to utilize that out of Kendricks and also be able to utilize, Kendrick's ability to blitz up the middle.
Mm-hmm. All right. So sticking with the linebackers, but switching the question up just a little bit. I did a quick video on this yesterday, so if you guys watched it, you guys know my thoughts on it. All right. So we have three guys, three inside linebackers, but only two start. So, Jeremy, the question to you is, which of the two guys are you starting?
Well, Chip regards D'Amico as Mufasa, meaning he's like the head honcho, but he's also two-thirds of those three guys are coming back off of surgery. And Kendricks also missed some games last year, but not to the extent that D'Amico and Kiko did. I don't think you can really go wrong, but I like the idea of Kiko and Kendrick starting in those two spots together just because of they're younger, they're faster, more versatile, and better coverage skills, and I just think that they would be the ideal fit, and then have D'Amico in the rotation as well.
Yeah. Mike?
Yeah, I actually I agree completely with Jeremy there. I would also go with that lineup there on the inside linebacking. But I think that what the Eagles are gonna end up doing is I think they're gonna end up starting Kiko and D'Amico Ryans. I think that's a starting pair that they're gonna go with. But like Jeremy, I would go with Kiko and Kendricks.
All right. Now, when I answered this question yesterday, I ducked it. I didn't even answer it because the way I kind of see it is against more run-oriented teams, I think you'll see D'Amico out there a little bit more. Against pass-oriented teams, you got Kendricks. I mean, the way he can blitz the A-gap so quick, times it really, really well. His closing speed is outstanding, when covering the flats. So against pass-oriented teams, you might see him out there a little bit more. Obviously, Kiko Alonso, he's the stud. He's a great player. So I kind of see them all as three co-starters. So I took the high road.
Yeah, you chickened out.
Yeah, I'm a chicken shit.
Just like the waitress today.
Exactly.
We won't get into that story on this show. Oh boy.
I think you're exactly right though, Adrian. There's not going to be like a set two starters. Like it's really going to vary from game to game depending on who they're playing against. But I kind of agree with Mike. When they go through the starting the defense in week one, I think you're going to have D'Amico and Kiko there. That's just my gut also. But players I would have there would be the two younger studs.
Yeah. All right, so we focus on a lot of the defense. Let's turn to some offense. Let's talk some wide receivers. Jordan Matthews has been the guy that's really, really stood out in camp so far. And we saw it today, Mike and I. I mean, he was just everywhere. Hands spectacular. So who are the guys you're kind of looking at wide receiver? What are your guys' thoughts on maybe who's starting, who's a guy you see can, really, really play well this season? And who are you looking at preseason-wise as you watch the games? Who's a guy that you got an eye on? We'll start with Jeremy.
My eyes are really on Josh Huff this year to have a much more consistent year. I think he's got a lot of big play potential, and I think Chip knows how to utilize him. I mean, he's a year more mature. He's got to hope he holds on to the ball. I think he cost us that Cardinals game within the 5-yard line, fumbled the ball. And also, Nelson Aguilar is a spectacular rookie. I want to see what he can do. I hear the scouting reports are phenomenal. I hear you guys talking him up. And I just throw Riley Cooper down to the wayside. He can just block when he wants. I'm looking at Aguilar and Huff to really see how their years are going to be.
Yeah, just cut Riley Cooper. Mike, what are your thoughts?
Well, I really couldn't have said it better. Jeremy said it perfect there. My thoughts are pretty much exactly the same. I really think that Huff is really the wild card to this whole wide receiving core. You know what you're going to get out of Jordan Matthews. He's going to be a stud, and Jeremy was talking about Aguilar. He should come on. I think you can expect him to kind of put up numbers like Matthews did, this past season in his rookie year. So Huff is really the guy that needs to step up to make this, wide receiving core complete.
Yeah, Huff is the big wild card. I agree with you guys. I do agree. And about Aguilar, I'll tell you what, his route running, crisp, it's sharp like Gillette. It is outstanding. He made Randall Evans fall today. That's how good he was out of his break. I can't wait to see him play. He's the guy I got an eye on in preseason just because I've been infatuated with him for a very, very long time. Mike knows this. I've been talking him up since college days, so I like him a lot. But Huff, he's definitely the key. So, agree with that. As long as he doesn't huff, puff, and blow the ball away.
Yeah, he did that a few times last year, but he definitely showed some signs of potential. Really, the biggest was, against the Titans when he returned the kickoff for a touchdown. He even did that today. He returned the kickoff for a touchdown in training camp. So he's definitely got the skill set. He's just got to get his head right, and hopefully, with a full off season behind him, he's ready to go this year.
Yeah. All right, so talk wide receivers. Let's talk about quarterback. I mean, God, this is the most important position in the game. And what we're like 30 minutes in, we haven't even brought up Sam Bradford's name yet. So what are you guys looking for in Sam Bradford this preseason? What are you focusing on? Obviously, we stay healthy. We won't get into it further. But yeah, Mike, we'll start with you. What are you looking at from him?
Well, first off, with Bradford, you look at that knee, and you notice that the big brace is gone. He's only got that small little rubber brace on there now, so that's definitely progress to start. But besides his health issues, you really want to look at his accuracy and the velocity in which he throws the football. Really, the two biggest reasons why Chip Kelly made that trade and even sent a second-round pick to the Rams, because that's what he really likes in Bradford. And in this offense, you really have to have an accurate quarterback. And so far throughout, the first few days of training camp, Bradford has really shown off that accuracy and that velocity.
Yeah. Jeremy?
I agree with Mike completely. Accuracy was one of the big reasons Chip brought him in, and also decisiveness, quick decisions. We run a lot of little quick slants, a lot of little quick hitches. We just want to get the first down and keep going. Another play. I think Bradford should thrive in that offense and that kind of scheme.
Yeah, and kind of things that I'm kind of looking for. I want to see who he's kind of building that rapport with at the wideout, who he's growing that bond with. Obviously, Jordan Matthews is the guy that he seems to be targeting early on in training camp. And the other thing is, I want to see how fast this offense is going to look. We set an NFL record last year, just shattered the Buffalo Bills mark, getting a snap off every, I believe it was something like 22 seconds or something. 23.9 was the record. So we just completely shattered that. So I want to see how fast he's moving. Obviously, he was in Oklahoma, same kind of style of offense a little bit in terms of the up tempo. So we'll see about that. And preseason, less than 2 weeks away. So we're almost right there. We got the training camp stuff today. Saw some 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s, bunch of drills. and we're getting to the real stuff pretty soon.
Almost there. I mean, the wait is almost over, and you were talking about Bradford there, and the hurry up offense, and I think that's really it's going to be interesting to see how fast Bradford can run this offense. We saw that Foles was a little bit slower with the hurry up offense when Sanchez came in. Now Sanchez can run this offense very fast. We even saw in training camp today. You saw that same speed with Sanchez. He really runs it fast. Now, Bradford, he was at a pretty similar clip. He was getting up there and running it fast. So that's going to be the biggest thing, to see if Bradford can run it at the same speed that Sanchez ran it.
Yeah. All right, let's stay at quarterback. Really simple question. Matt Barkley or Tim Tebow? Jeremy.
I knew this one was coming. Now, I'll quote you from last week. Their backups, Adrian, they suck. So, let's see. I mean, I should just go with the.
One steps less.
I'll just take Tebow for his size and his running ability. I don't really like how he throws the ball. So. And I don't like how Barkley throws the ball either. I think he came in for one game against the Cowboys a couple years ago, and when Foles went down and just threw 3 picks, I think, within a quarter and a half. So I don't really care. G.J. Kinney already switched to wide receiver, so he's not in the mix anymore. So I would go Tebow, I guess, if I had to pick.
Mike?
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to go with Tebow because Barkley is just god-awful. I mean, it's tough to be worse than Barkley at this point. So, really, Tebow brings that running ability, and Barkley cannot do that. So, I think that's why Tebow would get the nod over him. And as long as they can make Tebow the mascot and everyone can praise him, then we'll be all right.
Oh my goodness! Talk about praise.
Wait, everyone do this. Everyone do the Tebow.
Tebow.
Oh boy. Yeah, because he's got to get on the ground because that's where his balls land.
You gotta pray. Yeah, you gotta pray for anything.
Jesus Christ! I mean, it was really, really agitating today. All the Tebow chants, just like, come on, guys. Like, we want to watch football. We don't care about Tebow. Oh, awful, man, awful. Like you were saying, they would cheer if he would take a piss on the sideline.
Yeah, anything that guy was doing today, they were cheering for him.
That's nuts.
There was a pass where he was like 5 seconds too late in the flat. Just, you got to get the ball out a lot quicker. And like, he completed the pass, and everybody just erupted, just like, Tebow! Oh my God, Tebow! Like, oh my God! Oh my goodness! Just cheering every completion. It is just, it makes me cringe. I kind of hope he doesn't make the team, but I think he's the guy. Because the way I kind of see it, not only what Mike was saying with the running, but I can see them, having some packages centered around him, and Barkley, yeah, exactly.
Chip likes to get cute sometimes, so I'm sure he could come up with a couple of things for Tebow to do, and I don't know. I mean, Tebow is the big public figure, so I mean, Chip likes making big balls moves, so that's why he brought him in, and I think Barkley's gonna be out.
Yeah. All right. So I'm trying to think. We've basically covered every position. Running back isn't really a training camp battle there. We're pretty set there.
No.
Not really any questions we need to answer there.
I think we're fine. We're fine there. That's fine.
We're more than fine. We got some players. We got some guys that can tote the rock. That's for sure. Tight ends, don't really need to talk about that. The only thing we can really say with the tight ends is I am curious to see if Ertz has made improvements with his blocking, because this is a reason why Selleck saw a lot of the snaps last year. Offensive line was in shambles. Ertz kind of struggles in pass protection, so you had to have Selleck in there as like that extra de facto lineman. Hopefully Ertz has kind of made some strides forward with the blocking, and maybe, if there are some troubles with the offensive line, maybe you can have him out there more. We'll see. Mike, both of you guys are wearing Ertz jerseys, so
Yeah, that's such a coincidence. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I will start with Mike because I know that's like his boy right now.
Oh, yeah. I've been an Ertz supporter since day one, because since we picked Ertz, that means that we did not pick Geno Smith. So I was very happy with the Ertz selection, and obviously he's panned out nicely here, and I'm expecting big things from Ertz this year. I think that he's cleaned up on his blocking here in the offseason, and I think he's ready to go. So I don't think that the blocking will be a problem.
Yeah. Jay?
I think it's the safest jersey to purchase right now, Mr. Ertz. So, but yeah, I hopefully he made strides on his blocking technique. We might have seen it a couple times last year, but I'm all for throwing him in the slot and doing a couple packages like that with maybe Aguilar and Jordan on the outside. Because Jordan, I know he's a slot guy, but I think he'd be fine on the outside. He's related to Jerry Rice.
That's true.
But so yeah, I'm excited about Ertz. I definitely see him being surpassing maybe 750 to 800 yards, hopefully more, with a handful of touchdowns, if not more. And I'm excited.
Yeah. All right, we talk quarterback, we talk running back. Well, I didn't really need to talk running backs. Wide receiver, offensive line. We don't need to talk about our tackles or center. We're pretty set there. Defensive line, very, very underrated. Don't really need to talk about them. We talked about our linebackers. We talked about depth outside linebackers. We talk safety. We talk quarterbacks. That's everything. We don't need to talk about Cody Parkey. We don't need to talk about Donnie Football. We're pretty much set. We covered everything.
Yeah, we got it all covered. And we don't need to talk about the head coach because, well, he won the power struggle in the offseason, so he's got total control of this organization.
Yes, he does. And actually, we'll talk to Jeremy really quick because you made some good points pre-show about Chip and what you think about the whole, Boykin comments about the culture thing. And, well, I'll just let you talk about this because it's really the truth.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing, like Mike said, well, this is his first year taking control, and he's either gonna look like a genius or it could blow up in his face. But as far as how he's perceived, I think he's a little introverted. He keeps to himself. He not getting with the culture. I don't think it's a race thing at all. Like I thought you mentioned pre-show, like he doesn't know who Taylor Swift is or or Drake or any of the the culture that all guys in their 20s are all into. He does his own thing. He wants to be in control. So yeah, he might not say anything to somebody walking past him in the hallway. He's thinking about what he's going to scheme for, packages and different things he's trying to think about. He just, kind of like the Vince Lombardi approach. You don't see Vince Lombardi, getting down there with the guys and having a strong connection with them, but he won championships.
I'd say he's a pretty good coach. He's fine. Yeah. I really agree with that, and that was like kind of a point of mine a little bit there. But yeah, man, I just don't see him as a guy who could understand. Like you really think he knows what's going on between Drake and Meek Mill right now? I guarantee you he doesn't. He doesn't even know who either guy is. So he doesn't know who these guys are. I don't even know if he listens to music. And if he does, maybe it's like Bruce Springsteen or something. I don't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know who anybody is. Taylor Swift, he don't know who that. He probably doesn't know who Justin Bieber is. He doesn't know any of these guys. There's no way.
No, he's just a guy that loves football, and that's what it comes down to. It's not about race or anything like that. He's just out there trying to win on the football field. You know, I really don't know what Boykin expected. Like, I don't know what he wanted Chip to like ask him in the hallway, like if he likes like no provolone cheese or American cheese or cheese whiz on his cheesesteak. But you know, Boykin should really just be thanking Chip and the Eagles organization for giving him the chance to finally start somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, really, seriously. And some of it too, I can understand the total control thing because he went straight from college to the pros. He's got this whole system in place where he's got the monitors when you sleep. You take urine samples. He doesn't let you go out. There's like curfews. He treats them like college kids, and these aren't college kids. These are grown men. These guys have wives, they have girlfriends. I mean, they have kids, and it's not a college culture. It's the NFL culture, and that's kind of something I think Boykin was getting at too. It just happened to be because he's African American, and they heard culture, and they just assumed that it was about the African American kind of thing, and I think people just I saw USA Today like print off that Boykin called him racist and he was like afraid of black people, and just like they just completely misconstrued what he said. And I hate the media because so many they just want the headlines, they want the attention, and they'll go out and print stuff without even understanding what they're printing.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, you look at a football team, it's mostly made up of black guys. So there's a good chance that when you cut someone, it's going to be a black person. So this isn't a race issue at all. When they got rid of Evan Mathis, yeah, no one was talking about race. So yeah, it's just the whole thing has gotten overblown. So every time that they release a player of value that is African American, this is going to kind of come up.
Yeah. If you don't believe in the system, he's going to cut you. He has no problems with it. Doesn't matter if you're Evan Mathis, LaShawn Jackson, traded LaShawn McCoy. If you don't believe in it, he's going to get rid of you. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, like Michael Jackson said.
Another thing about why some of these black players that get cut or traded, like McCoy and Boykin, Chip kind of felt, kind of had a bomb drop on him his first summer here before he even coached an NFL game with Riley Cooper and the whole race thing with Riley Cooper, and then later he gets a contract extension. So I think why Riley Cooper's still on the team, I don't know, but I think that also rubs some of them the wrong way.
No, yeah, and that's what like Stephen A. Smith is running with right now, and I can see it. Why people would get rubbed the wrong way. You keep Riley Cooper, uses the N-word. Why is he still on the team? But he's the guy that buys into the system. DeSean Jackson didn't buy in. LaShawn McCoy didn't buy in. Evan Mathis, he wanted more money. He didn't. He went against the system. So it doesn't matter if you're black or white. You go against Chip, he's in total control. He'll get rid of you. He doesn't care. He'll give you the boot. Bye. See the door. Goodbye. So,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we kind of got that talk out of the way. I'm glad we got that last portion of our show because I'm really sick of all that talk already. I haven't even really listened to ESPN or anything about what's going on because I'm sure they've been blowing it out of proportion. I know what's really truth, and you guys do as well. We know what's going on. So that's that. All right. So we talked everything. I think it's time to wrap things up. And this is the first time we're doing final thoughts with two other people. So we'll start with Mike. Final thoughts.
Yeah, well, my final thoughts are, just some advice for everyone out there. That if you go out to a restaurant and you order a burger, Just don't ask the waitress to cut the burger in half for you.
Especially if she's freaking drop dead gorgeous.
I don't know. I can't follow that one up. That was perfect. I'll just say I hope everybody stays healthy and we have a good preseason.
Yeah, that really was a funny story. Xfinity Live after training camp, we went to go eat. I just didn't want to eat a lot, so yeah, that was so funny. She's like, "Well, you got a knife, you can cut it yourself." Oh man, that was great. That was great. So any chances that I would have had, just I got off on the wrong foot very, very quickly. So yeah, I had no chance after that. I couldn't follow it up. First impressions are key, and I was toast.
Yeah. Or you could have eaten half the burger and then asked for a box.
I just completely butchered it. I've lost integrity as a man. Definitely got some points off my man card. So yeah, not a good 30 minutes there at Xfinity Live.
Yeah.
No, it was a rookie performance.
It was.
That
Yeah,
is a great place, though. I love Xfinity.
yeah.
Great time.
Good food too. I mean, I got what was it, triple bacon burger or something. I still have the other half. I didn't eat it. I cut it, but it was a butter knife, man. It was hard to cut through. In my defense,
Yeah, you're really watching your figure these days.
dude. Oh my God, I'm getting thickish. I'm gonna have to buy a bra pretty soon. It's terrible.
Jeez. Well, maybe me and Jeremy will just have to go to Xfinity Live by ourselves and, show them how real men eat burgers.
I'm down with that anytime, man.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap things up before you guys, take things too far. So, this was great. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties to start. I butchered the lead. It was a terrible lead. I tried to recover. I stumbled on my words. Yeah, we're done for this show. We're hour in. Wow. So we talked some birds. 3-man show, the first time in Bitterbirds history, and I think it went well. Once Jeremy got his connection figured out, things were great, and it was also beneficiary because Mike and I talked about training camp, and so Jeremy really didn't. Jeremy would have just had to sit through and listen to us anyway, so it didn't matter. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys for coming on, and we'll be back next week with something. We'll figure out a topic, and yeah, we're out of here. Jeremy Burton, Mike Owens, I'm Adrian Fedkiw. The Bitterbirds are out, and yeah, you guys say go Birds, throw up your peace signs.
Go Birds.
Go Eagles.
All right, we're out. Later.